So today we will be discussing about interdisciplinary nature of consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is a complex and multidimensional process. To understand consumer behavior for a given brand, even given context, often especially formulated research is to be conducted. The process of consumption starts with the generation of needs that get converted into want and a demand, which is to be fulfilled by the marketeers in the form of product or services. Emergence of a need starts the whole process of consumption, in which the consumer starts debating about whether, what, why, when, how, from where, how much, and at what frequency they are going for a particular product or a service. So we will be seeing that what are the various fields from where the consumer behavior subject has been taken. So first we will see the psychology. It is defined as the science of behavior and cognitive processes. Cognitive processes by which consumers acquire, represent, memorize, and retrieve information. Therefore, psychology is concerned with all forms of behavior, its organization into different forms of personality, attitude, and the cognitive processes behind it. For example, the Fruit's psychoanalytical theory of personality and Maslow's hierarchy of needs have a wide application in consumer behavior. Similarly, we see what are the various learning and memory theories and concept which help in understanding the consumers and how these are impacting, what are the impacts of marketing on communication on consumers. Then coming to the sociology part, it is the study of groups. These groups can range from small primary groups such as family, friendship group, neighborhood groups to large secondary groups such as socio-economic class and society. The successful launch of MACD in India is an example of culturally nuanced marketing strategy. What happened initially when MACD launched the product, Indian people were reluctant towards the brand because of its non-vegetarian. So they considered that they are against their values. Most of the Indians had a negative attitude towards foreign brand because of its non-veg food items. So after doing the analysis of consumers, then the MACD relaunched the product according to India. The brand wanted to position itself as a promoter of family values, so they launched Makalu Tikki Burger and French fries. Both are vegetarian items. So these type of strategy, change in strategy has to be done according to the country or according to the reason in which you are operating to become a successful marketeer. Then anthropology, it is the study of impact of society on individual and the cross-cultural issues in buying behavior. The culture that has been followed in India will be different. If we go to some Western countries, the culture will be different. So the marketer have to take care of those cultural values and how the cross-cultural values will conflict while launching of a product. So that has to be taken care of. Then coming to the economics part, economics also play an important role in consumer behavior. The income and the purchasing part, the relation between demand and the supply impacts the flow of marketing activity. So these are the various fields from where consumer behavior have been taken. I will be taking one or two aspects. But rest of the things I will be covering in details in the coming slides. Each point will be discussed in detail. I'm just giving the overview of few aspects. Psychological factors comprises of following micro factors. The first one is motivation. The process of consumption starts with the emergence of need and motivation. So, understanding what type of advertisement incites or motivates consumers to go for a purchase or purchase decision. So, the study of their how they get motivated becomes important for a consumer. Then learning basic goal of marketing is to modify consumer behavior. It becomes imperative that what are the different theories of learning and their concept that help in understanding how consumer learn to consume a product or a brand. Then perception, consumer adopt particular product based on their perception. Marketers should get insights about how consumer apply various principles of perception in consumer decision making process. Attitude in beliefs, main goal of marketeer is to change the negative attitude of consumers to the positive one. As I have already discussed the case of MACD, that how the company has relaunched the product according to India, and it got successful here also, and people are now going for a MACD. Now the sociological aspects in promotion. Here one ad has been taken to understand this aspect. Tata Housing announced its entry in Ahmedabad real estate market during the festival of Sankranti or Uttarayan. What we call here is Makar Sankranti, which is generally celebrated on 14th of January. Uttarayan is celebrated everywhere in India in different forms. In Gujarat, it is celebrated on a grand scale with kite flying. The State Tourism Department organizes a kite festival. During this time of year, the vibrant Gujarat Summit is organized to attract investors. So this ad is capturing attention of the target group by using a strong social religious symbol. In this process, it also captures the attribute of grandness associated with the festival and make it a brand property. So what the company has done is he has associated his advertisement with the festival. As the festival is very big there, so the ad automatically become grander here. So it becomes a it becomes a good opportunity for marketeer to capture a larger share of market. Now, types of consumer behavior. There are basically two approaches. The first one is positivism. The study of consumer research here is emphasized on managerial aspect. Here, the main focus of manager is to obtain consumption related behavior. Managers believe that if they are able to predict consumer behavior or what type of behavior they are reflecting while purchasing a product or a service, they can influence their decision making process. This type of approach try to find out the cause and effect relationship in buying situation. What is the cause and what is the outcome of that cause, and the same result can be generalized to the larger population too. So this is all about a positivism. Here the main focus is to predict the consumer behavior and influence that consumer behavior. The second approach is interpretivism or postmodernism. This approach says that studying of consumer behavior with a view of understanding consumer behavior and interpretation of such behaviors. In the previous one, we are simply predicting the consumer behavior, but in this approach, we are studying the consumer behavior, we are trying to understand the consumer behavior, as well as we are making some inferences on the basis of the consumer behavior study. So it may include many subjective aspects of consumer behavior like effect of moods, emotions, type of situation. So these can be the cause which can affect the consumer behavior, and the consumers can predict in a different way when he could be in a good mood or a bad mood, when he's overwhelmed with emotions, or what could be the different type of situations. So all these things might affect the consumer behavior or decision making process. And the similar way, as we said in the positivism approach, that uh, we can generalize that the result to a larger population. Whereas if we talk about interpretivism, here the consumer experience is unique situations occurring at unique points of time, so can't be generalized for to a larger population. um, so these are the main differences between both the approaches. So today we discussed about interdisciplinary approach of consumer behavior and various approaches of consumer behavior. So this is all for today's lecture. Thank you.